Andrew from Sachs. Have you ever noticed that some people are more emotional than others? Some people seem to be able to cope easily no matter what happens to them. Other people seem to be upset relatively readily. This is a core element of human personality. This diagram shows the 6-factor or HEXACO model of personality. This tool is the Sachs 6, which is a work-worded version of HEXACO as discovered by Kibiam Lee and Mike Ashton. Now, what you're seeing here is that the 6 characteristics: integrity, modesty, emotionality, extroversion, absence of anger, conscientiousness, and openness to experience. They're the 6 core characteristics of human personality as it's currently defined. But today we're focusing on emotionality. And emotionality has these 4 sub-characteristics. Threat sensitivity is where I'm challenged by challenging circumstances. Anxiety is sometimes a non-specific kind of experience, which is to say that people can be anxious about a range of different things. And clinical psychologists will tell you that the truly anxious person, when they've overcome an anxiety about one thing, may well develop an anxiety about another thing. Lack of independence. This is the characteristic of hating to be outside of other people's opinions. It's really the sense that if I do something independent from other people, it may well turn out badly for me. Overly empathic. Overly empathic is a characteristic where I share other people's sorrows to the point that it may affect me from a well-being point of view. A key point about emotionality is that I think employers have an ethical responsibility to understand the level of emotionality of people that they hire. If somebody is highly emotional, it's not a good thing for them to put them into a highly stressful job, for instance, because it can affect their psychological well-being. And if you recruit people who are emotionally stable, they may well be more suited to more challenging jobs. Let's look at some combinations of psychological results. Here we have the person's emotionality scores, and here we have the person's values. In this case, we're talking about work values. This instrument we built in partnership with Deakin University, and it has been validated against Shalom Schwartz's model of personal values. So you see that this person is extremely high in their work values in a range of different areas. And these areas include things like variety and rule respecting, environmental sustainability. In fact, all of the 11 values that we measure on this tool, this person is high in. Values are goals. And so if a person has a goal of social justice at work, it means that they're going to be more satisfied with a job where they can contribute to social justice. And as well as that, if their colleagues have the same value set, they're much more likely to fit in with those people. But there is a challenge. When a person has strong values on either side of the circumplex here, this is what we call this round diagram, so helping and supporting versus authority, those are opposite values because of the fact that they're psychologically opposite. So the diagram shows you things that are similar and things that are opposite. Now, in a person who has such strong values which are opposite each other, of course, there's a potential conflict because wanting to help and support people is of its very nature conflictual with wanting to have authority over them. And so there may be times when a person feels that they should satisfy the goal for authority, and other times where they might be more focused on helping and supporting, and that will lead to conflict. If you now see the fact that this person is highly emotional and all of these characteristics, this is somebody who is likely to be challenged more by these conflictual values, because some people who are extremely low in emotionality may be able to reconcile and say, okay, well, that's just how I am. But a person who notices the fact that they want to help people and at other times they want to have authority over them, they may well be more stressed by that. There's also interesting characteristics between high emotionality and high cognitive ability. So this is cognitive ability. And you'll see that this person is high on verbal reasoning, which means that they're really good at words. They're high on numerical reasoning, which means that they're really good at numbers. And they're pretty high also on a thing called abstract reasoning. And abstract reasoning is the capacity to form links. It's the capacity to see if I do this, then this might happen. There's been quite a bit of research into the relationship between cognitive ability and emotionality. And in fact, it's kind of a two-edged sword, which is to say that when a person has high levels of cognitive ability, we do know that people like that tend to be better at self-regulation. So they're better at finding ways of getting around things and they're better at solving their own problems. But we also know that sometimes people who are highly intelligent and highly emotional, it can be almost like a genius for fretting. It can be a characteristic where people kind of dream up ways that things could go wrong. So it can be a blessing and it can be a curse. Now, the one thing we also know is that people who are smarter, who have higher cognitive ability, tend to be able to get through their work more quickly. So that can help them not to get so stressed at work because of the fact that they're kind of not under pressure to achieve whatever the goals are at work. How about high emotionality and low cognitive ability? So once more, the same two-edged sword, but in reverse. This is again a person who's high in emotionality, but you'll see that the cognitive ability scores are all low here. Verbal, numerical, abstract reasoning. So in this case, this person's less likely to be able to come up with innovative solutions to help them over their emotionality. But one of the things that we do know is that they will be less likely to fret so much about an extremely wide range of possibilities. So emotionality is a characteristic that can be a clinical characteristic. It can also cause people to be more highly stressed, and it's one part of the resilience equation. A person who's highly emotional is less likely to be resilient. If you'd like to find out more about this approach to psychometric assessment, don't hesitate to click on the link near this video or be in touch with SACS and we'll provide you with a free trial so you can see how this approach might fit in with your organisation.